Are they dead or are they alive? I had some castings that I was sorting outside, and it began to rain, and I came in the house and grabbed all the packets of seeds I had and forgot about the worms. So the worm bin flooded. My solution to that was to add some plain cocoa coir to the bottom, put the wet worm castings on top, and left them out to dry. Well, now it's 94 degrees and pure sun out, and they've been out there all day. So I just brought this bin in. Let's see. It's saying it's 76 here in my dining room, which is probably about right. But let's see what the temperature in this bin is that I just brought in from outside. Holy gosh. So it's 94 degrees inside the 96. 100 and... Oh... 105. Yeah, that makes sense, because with our real feel, it's supposed to be 102 right now. Let's take it back out. Let's let it go down. Here, just for entertainment, we'll dip it in the cat water to see just to make sure it's right. Okay. Yep. 70 degrees. Let's put it back in the worm bin. So we're at 100 and basically 105 degrees is what this bin is at. And this is, it's been in the house for 2 to 3 minutes. I just grabbed this because I wanted to film it. As bad as I feel, I wanted to film it in case they're alive. I wanted to show you just what worms are capable of. Not ever suggesting you should do this or expose them to that. But the fact that I did it, if they're alive, is going to show you how resilient. And again, this wasn't in the shade. They were cooking in the sun, and I can feel the heat coming off it. So now what I want to do is just scrape off the top. I think they're cooked. That's what I think, and I feel very bad about that. Oh my gosh, it's hot to the touch. It's still too wet, but yet it's hot. And actually, wet is worse than dry when it's hot because it transmits the heat. So far I don't see anything. Which, oh my gosh, this is actually hot, like uncomfortable hot. Oh, there goes my Siamese. She's going to start howling because I'm talking, so she's going to talk. And that's how it is. Let's see, so they clearly went down into the cocoa coir, but are they alive? They are alive. Look at this. Oh my goodness. Look at this. And you know what? They feel cooler right here. I don't say they feel cold, but they feel much cooler. Let's put the thermometer in here. So 94 degrees. They were 105. So they're 11 degrees cooler. Down here, well, wait. No, this is saying 90 degrees. So the difference in the center of the worm ball at the bottom, where they're all gathered together, is 15 degrees cooler. 14 to 15 degrees cooler than the top material in the sun. I got there in time. This is miserably uncomfortable, and I feel so terrible. I've had a migraine. Today's my birthday, and it's a big number birthday. I'm 55 today, and I'm celebrating it completely alone due to reasons I don't want to elaborate on. And I have a migraine. A lot of things that aren't good. And because of the migraine, I haven't gone outside in this 100-degree weather. So I just went out to take my doggies out to do their business and saw this worm bin outside from yesterday and felt immediate horror and guilt and thought I was going to find cooked worms. So far I don't see a single dead worm. They did what worms do for survival. They went as deep as they could possibly go. Now, I don't know if I could show you outside my very messy picnic table, but they were in the full sun, and it's over 100. So, well, it's supposed to be 94, but 105 the real feel, because we have like a 80 or 90% humidity level right now. So these are all alive. They went into the cocoa coir. This cocoa, not peat. That's right, cocoa coir. Now I'll tell you what. And this, guys, this is the dry, because like I said, this got rained. It got flooded. It got to the point where there was water above the casting line, and I poured the water out. And I let it sit out, and it just would not dry out. So I just made the decision to remove castings from the top and put the balance on top of some just cocoa coir that was dry, hoping the coir would soak up the moisture. And it did. But there was so much coir versus moisture, the coir stayed somewhat dry, and that kept them cool. And they're alive. So this is a video of what never, ever, ever to do to your worms. And it's also a video to show how resilient worms can be. 105 degrees in the full sun for, well, they've been out there for 24 hours. Of course, we had nighttime, but I mean, sunrise 6. They've been 7 hours in the full sun, and this bin is only, you know, not even a hand's length deep. Now, it's not even a hand's length deep. You can see how deep the material is. Well, it really was this deep. So, a finger length, 2 inches deep. That's all they're in. And they're alive. That's amazing. I am so thrilled. Well, now they're in the air conditioning. The cocoa coir actually is now mixed with these castings, which you just saw me do, is absolutely the perfect moisture level now. So I guess instead of harvesting this bin, I'm just going to add new food to it. Now, this is the worms I took out yesterday. I'm going to add them back because I took out a bunch of the worms that were in here off the, you know, just grabbed them when they were all down at one end. So these guys can go back in here now. They're nice and cool because they've been on my table. This happened before migraine, and then it started to rain, and I grabbed my seed packets because I had a bunch of packets of seeds. And this is just some of the castings I had taken off initially that were really wet. They were out in the sun too, but there's no worms in there. So, okay, well, crisis averted, or I should say crisis avoided, right? Because what I deemed as a crisis, well, it would have been probably another hour. It would have been. If my dogs didn't need to go out to go pee and they didn't get me up off the couch, I was not planning to go outside today, because when I have a really bad migraine like I do, the sun is one of the worst things for me. But they did get me to go out, and when I saw these worms, I cringed, grabbed them, and ran them into the air conditioner. Now, you see, it's 69 degrees in this room. That makes more sense. It won't be once the sun, this is the west side of my house over here. So once the sun starts to set, if I don't close the shades on these windows, this room will go up to 105 degrees easily. All I have is, in this entire house, is 2 small 5,000 BTU air conditioners, window air conditioners for the whole 3 floors of the house, and that is what it is. And no, it doesn't do a good job, but it keeps us from cooking. Yes, kitty, I hear you. Everybody say hi to Sasha Boo. Sasha Boo will be 24 on Christmas Day. Huh, Boo? Boo baby. That's Sasha Boo baby, or you can call her Boo. And yes, there's a heater next to her, because in the winter this room is very cold. So I keep a space heater right next to her cat bed. She loves it. And I don't put it away in the summer. I just unplug it. And actually last week, it was on. Hi, Boo. Hi, Boo. It was on because we had a night that was 42 degrees. And this room got down to really cold. There's like no heat in here. So, all right. Well, I expected you to see a disaster. Well, I didn't know. I was expected to see either good or bad, and I was going to be either sad or happy. Obviously, I'm happy. And so are these worms now. So we know that they can sit in the full sun at 105 degrees for some length of time and not die. And had they not had that dry material at the bottom to go into, which as you saw was reading 95 degrees, I have confidence that that would have been completely cooked. And it was that dry material that saved them. And that's why you absolutely, positively have to ship worms dry. You cannot ship them with any moisture. The moisture just amplifies the cold or amplifies the heat, either way. And dry material doesn't do that. So, right, Boo? So, yeah. Well, thanks for watching, everybody. I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to scrape the rest of these out here and add some bedding to this and start this bin over the way that it is. I'm not going to harvest those little bit of castings now that I've added all the worms back in. But thank you for watching.